Hey everyone, and welcome to this Motion Garage Explainer. I am beyond excited to have you here today because we're taking a deep dive into one of the most talked about motorcycles to hit both the streets and the trails lately, the Yamaha PG-1. We're going to map out this bike's entire fascinating journey. We'll start with its current form as a super rugged 114cc daily commuter and trace it all the way to the heavily rumored, highly anticipated 155cc powerhouse that's slated for 2026. So, whether you already own one and want some upgrade ideas, or you're just eyeing this thing for your next big adventure, you are absolutely in the right place. Okay, let's dive into this. It's pretty obvious right out of the gate why the PG-1 has generated so much hype. I mean, in a market completely saturated with look-alike, standard plastic scooters, this bike's retro Scrambler design just immediately grabs your attention. It's built on this whole philosophy of leaving it all behind. What that means is it looks just as natural weaving through tight city traffic as it does kicking up dust on some unpaved provincial trail. Honestly, it's a bike that practically begs you to take the long way home. Here's our roadmap for today. 1. The Scrambler hype. 2. Under the hood. 3. Real-world rider feedback. 4. The 2026 155cc upgrade. And 5. The final verdict.
All right, Section 1, the Scrambler hype. Retro aesthetics meet modern utility. That neoclassic vibe hits you right at the front with that simple, iconic, round halogen headlight. And then moving down, you've got these 16-inch spoke wheels wrapped in chunky, block-pattern tires that are specifically designed to grip uneven surfaces. Plus, I absolutely love the classic rubber boots on those H-shaped front forks. They don't just look tough, they provide actual real-world protection from dust and debris when you take it off-road. It's just a really timeless, rugged design. Moving on to Section 2. Under the hood, the current 114cc blank canvas. So at its core, this matte brown beauty is running a 114cc air-cooled 4-stroke single overhead cam engine, and it uses a 4-speed constant mesh semi-automatic transmission. Now what that means for you is there's no manual clutch lever to stress over. It makes the bike incredibly accessible for beginners while still giving experienced riders the fun and engagement of actually shifting gears. Oh, and it's fuel injected, so you're getting a smooth throttle response and reliable starting every single time you hit the ignition. Let's talk numbers really quick. 9 horsepower and 9.5 newton meters of torque. Look, let's be totally honest here. This bike is not winning any drag races. Your safe cruising speed is going to hover around 85 to 90 kilometers per hour. But here's the secret sauce. Here's why riders are obsessed with it. The wet weight is just 107 kilograms. When you combine that featherweight frame with a massive 190 millimeters of ground clearance, you get a machine that is unbelievably nimble. Over in the Philippines, riders fondly call it a lubak killer, meaning it literally just glides over potholes, broken pavement, and light floods that would absolutely punish a regular scooter. But honestly, this might be the biggest number you need to care about. 52 to 60 kilometers per liter. Because it isn't some heavy, high-displacement speed demon, your wallet is going to absolutely love this fuel economy. Whether you're just grinding out daily city commutes or taking weekend trips up into the mountains, that crazy efficiency paired with its 5.1-liter tank means you are stopping at the pump way, way less often. Which brings us to Section 3, real-world rider feedback, the pros, the cons, the journey. We wanted to get the absolute truth, way beyond just the spec sheets, so we dug into a massive 7-month long-term owner review, we watched documented footage of a really challenging road trip up to Baguio City, and we combed through a year-long Reddit thread of dedicated PGO vinyl owners. This specific quote from a long-term owner pretty much nails the community's sentiment. To translate the Tagalog there, they're basically saying the bike just eats up average potholes on the road, and they confirm that right off the showroom floor, completely stock, this thing allows you to go light off-roading. With those upright handlebars, the super comfortable 795mm seat height, and that rugged suspension, the Scrambler aesthetic definitely isn't just for show. It actually delivers. But hey, no machine is perfect, right? Let's break down the very real pros and cons of actually living with this bike. On the pro side, like we talked about, that fuel range is incredible, and the lightweight handling makes gridlock traffic or rocky trails feel effortless. But on the con side, owners repeatedly bring up those tube-type tires. Getting a flat out in the middle of nowhere is a real headache, especially since 16-inch tubes aren't exactly sitting on the shelf at every local shop. Second, that cool-looking vintage halogen headlight, yeah, it's notoriously dim for night riding. And finally, because the bike is a featherweight at 107 kilos, the front end can feel kind of sketchy and unstable when you get hit by heavy crosswinds on the open road. So how's the community fixing this? Well, the PG-1 is mechanically super simple, which makes it a dream to customize. Riders are constantly swapping out that dim stock bulb for crazy powerful LEDs, or just replacing the entire headlight assembly. They're bolting on engine guards for extra protection. And to cure that flat tire anxiety, a lot of owners are investing in 17-inch tubeless rim conversions, or even cleverly adapting cast wheels from bikes like the Yamaha Sniper 135 to completely bulletproof their daily commute. These accessible mods really become a huge part of the PG-1's charm.
Quick pause. Are you guys enjoying this explainer so far? If you love breaking down motorcycles and gear as much as we do, please make sure to follow and subscribe to Motion Garage. You can find us on YouTube, Facebook, and right over on our Spotify podcast. Your support is what lets us keep bringing you these deep dive vehicle explainers. So hit that subscribe button and let's get back to the bike.
All right, let's keep rolling. Section 4, the 2026 155cc upgrade, pushing into new territory. This is where things get really spicy. We are looking at a massive shift in this bike's character. The current model is, a 114cc air-cooled engine with analog dials and practically zero tech. It's charming for sure, but it's very basic. The future 2026 model steps it way up to a liquid-cooled 155cc engine, ditches the analog for a crisp digital LCD display, and brings in the modern amenities riders have literally been begging for. Now, what's really interesting here is the addition of VVA, variable valve actuation. This is tech pulled straight from Yamaha's more premium performance bikes. Basically, it switches between two different cam profiles right at 7,400 RPM. That means you get punchy low-end torque when you're crawling through traffic or dirt trails, but it also gives you the top-end power you need for faster cruising. This is the exact tech that's going to finally give the PG-1 the sustained highway speed it's been missing. And the engine is just the start. The 2026 model boasts a whole suite of modern upgrades. We're talking disc brakes on both ends now, so long rear drum, plus it's expected to have front ABS capability, which is just a huge safety net on wet roads. You're getting that fully digital LCD cluster for your ride stats, a super convenient built-in USB charging port for your phone, and improved suspension compliance. It really perfectly bridges that gap between a raw utility bike and a premium modern commuter. Now, you might be thinking, wait, bigger engine, liquid cooling, ABS, isn't that going to completely ruin the bike's lightweight magic? Actually, no. Early reports indicate the 155cc model will weigh in at roughly 122 kilograms. Sure, it's a bit heavier than the 107 kilo original, but 122 kilograms is still remarkably light. It holds on to that effortless maneuverability and agility that makes the PG-1 so special in the first place. Finally, Section 5. The final verdict. Is it the ultimate mini-adventure bike? So let's put the whole puzzle together. The rugged design, the efficient mechanics, the real-world feedback, and the upcoming tech. To answer if it's the ultimate mini-adventure bike, we really have to look at the market, because the PG-1 isn't operating in a vacuum. It's going toe-to-toe with an absolute legend, the Honda CT125. Looking at this impartially, the Yamaha offers unbeatable affordability, raw mechanical simplicity, and just an incredibly fun lightweight platform that you can customize to the moon. On the flip side, the Honda CT125 gives you premium refinement, decades of proven trail heritage, and a massive existing aftermarket. But what the PG-1 proves, without a doubt, is that real adventure does not require the most expensive or complicated machine out there. So I've got to ask you, and I want you to really think about this. Would you choose the rugged, budget-friendly simplicity and blank canvas nature of the Yamaha PG-1, or are you leaning more towards a legacy classic like the Honda CT125? Man, it is an incredible time to be a rider with choices like this out there. Thank you all so much for joining us for this explainer. If you learned something new today and you want more of these deep dives into the machines that move us, please remember to follow and subscribe to Motion Garage on YouTube, Facebook, and our Spotify podcast. Ride safe out there, and we'll see you on the next one.